Let's get back to 2020, when we all experienced something which we had never experienced before. The arrival of pandemic, COVID-19, a virus which disrupted the global financial markets across the world and led to uncertainty and market volatility.
So, as mentioned, there is volatility at the time of COVID-19. So, the reason for this volatility might be macroeconomic news, policy responses, supply chain disruptions, and the service sector domination.
Speaking of the central bank interventions, if I talk about the advanced economies, they had a twofold goal, which included stabilization and then the provision of credit. And if I talk about the emerging market economies, the actions were much in line with the advanced economies and they focus on aggregate demand this time.
Now, apart from the central bank, the government also implements some of the policies, which are the fiscal policy measures. So, most of the fiscal policies are emergency life measures and they depend upon debt to GDP ratio.
If I talk about the global financial institutions, the World Bank released a $157 billion fund, which was segregated into five parts. And if I talk about the actions made by the International Monetary Fund, it led to the grant of debt relief, called for a special drawings right (SDR), and the combined effort of World Bank and IMF led to the suspension of G20's DSSI. And
if we have to talk about the regulatory changes that were brought during the time of COVID-19, so most of these changes are emergency changes as they do not have a post-implement emphasis, a post-implement analysis, what will be the post-impact. So if we have to compare the traditional approach with the post-COVID approach, we would say in the traditional approach, the regulatory changes are more for analyzed of their costs and their benefits. However, in the post-COVID approach, there is no much analysis of these policies.
Speaking of the challenges faced by the emerging market economies, the main challenge was faced by the tourism-dependent countries. But there was an increase in fortunes because of the release of bond of $124 billion. And if I talk about the actions of EME, they were more in line with the E economies, as mentioned before, and they used buffer stocks to tackle the liquidity problems.
Now, if we have to talk about the importance of risk management at the time of global crisis, at the time of COVID-19, we would say it is necessary in order to protect the investor from alpha and beta risk, market risk, credit risk, and even from the liquidity risk. Apart from this, technological advances, smooth operation of the economy, and prevent of occurrence of events such as global financial crisis of 2008 made it necessary to implement risk management practices. Now, if we have to talk about the future of the global financial markets, it is still uncertain even after the end of the pandemic of COVID-19 because of the Russia's invasion of the Ukraine. The commodity prices is high. Although the global inflation has declined, but more of the growth of the economies, including advanced economies and emerging economies, has been decreased. Apart from this, the global growth also declined by 2.5%.